Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, notice, looking around the table, I see the presence of a quorum, so I'd like to call the meeting to order. I'd like to ask the Reverend Jones to lead us in invocation.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, in Jesus' name, we are thankful to you, Lord, today to be able to be here, Lord, each one of us, God, to take part in this and taking care of the business here in the town. Lord, help us, God, I pray, to do it in a way that is pleasing unto you, that is right and fair to each one involved, God. And again, we appreciate you, Lord, the help that you give us. And God, we're not fail to give you the praise and the honor and the glory for that. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Stop standing, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have before us either in written form or electronic the minutes of our previous meeting. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept as presented or to make changes as needed.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
I'm going to second. All right, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented, please signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Okay, the minutes are approved. Okay. It takes us to citizens' time, so if you all would like to address the council, you're welcome. You just come to listen.
Just come to listen.
Well, you probably learned something, but
It's
I don't want it to be something to
I probably
write
would,
home
Jim.
about.
I probably would. It's been a while since I've been up here.
Well, you're welcome. We're glad to have you. Okay. With that said, we'll move on to correspondence.
I do have correspondence to the town of Royal Retreat. The Royal Retreat High School After Prom Planning Committee would like to personally thank you for your monetary donation to support our fundraising efforts. With your help, we will be able to purchase food, drinks, and raffle prizes, as well as cover costs for insurance and Crossroads rental to give our junior and senior classes the best after prom event they could possibly experience. Thank you again for your generosity, Royal Retreat High School Planning Committee.
Okay. Do you have anything else from the town office?
No, sir.
Okay, do we have any correspondence from the council? Okay. Derek, we'll put you on the spot early.
I had 16 incidents this month. Some of those I had 3 larcenies. 2 of them was unfounded, and 1 of them was a shoplifting that was cleared. I got the property back. 2 suspicious persons or vehicles. 1 breaking and entering. It was a pack of coons got in the house and destroyed it. So, I'm glad I hate to destroy the house, but I'm glad it wasn't somebody else. 1 funeral escort. I had 1,105 miles patrolled for March. And the dogs on Friday, they were talking to them people and told them that animal patrol would be called. And I was up there on another call a couple of weeks after that, and they said they hadn't been loose. So, you heard any more about it?
Haven't heard any more.
Okay.
Haven't seen them either.
And Monica and myself is going April the 2nd to the senior citizens meeting to do the emergency, go over that thing, the emergency contact stuff. And that's all I have.
Could we not get the county?
They're gonna come.
Oh, all right. I forgot.
Randy Zook's gonna be there too with us. Yes.
That's all I got.
Okay, anybody have a question for the chief?
I've got a question, John. Would you like me to bring up what I was asked to bring up about the vehicle?
Oh, at the church?
No, from your wife.
Oh.
Well,
I think you should.
I'm a first time timer, sir.
Evidently, he had a physical not too long ago and was told he was a perfect physical specimen. And his wife has said she would like to keep him in that condition, and she recommended that the council buy a bicycle
So moved.
and shorts and knee socks.
No, it's cut off.
Don't go too far.
She asked me to bring it up, and I told her I would.
Never let a good change be of somebody.
I deserve it.
I've got a question. Where is the, sign? I'm just thinking it's good springtime.
Yeah,
Probably a little heavier.
It has a lot of battery problems when it's snowing and cold, and I usually keep it shut down in the colder time. But yeah, I moved it there a couple weeks ago.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, anybody else have any questions? Or digs?
It wasn't dig, Your Honor, it was a request.
Just a little, okay.
I didn't know they made these socks that long.
Boy, there's a visual.
Yes.
I'm shutting that
All right. Yeah, we got the digs here, that's the most important. Okay, that takes us to unfinished business. Now, Jason, we'll stop.
I can go ahead and tell you, me and Monica, she schooled me on the way she wants me to do my town manager's report from now on, and it's a little bit different from what you've seen in the past. I will tell you, everything that's on there will be in my report, anything under this unfinished business.
Okay, Dale, that takes us to the Heritage Day Festival.
The final act is booked. We're just pending the contract so that we can make the announcement on who it is.
Excellent. All right. What about upgrades to the water plant?
All of these will, all the unfinished
What I
business.
was gonna say is, but I have to let, if anybody on council
Okay.
wants to bring something forward, I'm gonna take it for myself to brag on your contractor in public about the bit in front of the barber shop, the Jim Lloyd sidewalk.
They did a great job, and they were really hard workers too.
Well, they've got some more concrete to pour because the city sidewalk up on Main Street is,
They've got there and Buck Avenue still to go. But, I mean, if you go back, if you looked at it through the process, it looks good, but it's also quality made.
yeah, it is. I've got to watch it, just how they did really good.
Did they let you put your hands in
Not my hands.
your face?
No, they his face, yeah. Good. Okay,
I have had several good comments on there.
I mean, it's just really nice. It's sort of like putting a hair bonnet on an old sow, it's sure nice to see.
Old Sal's gonna remember that too.
Well, anyway. Okay. While we're there, anybody have any comments they'd like to make in the unfinished business? I can tell you fixing to say something.
I do have something, Mayor.
Okay, that's wonderful.
You know, I brought up the condition of this building and some things that needed to be done on it,
Yeah, I have.
and that's being taken care of. I think he's probably gonna report on some of that. But I have a nuisance, the community center. There's a hole that big around in the woman's restroom in the ceiling. There's also a place, over on the wall where you go into the chair room, where water got in there, and there's a gap from the wall there.
She dropped off, is it?
Well, it's that stuff that's
What's it
below
called?
the chair rail. There's a big gap there.
What's this stuff called?
There's a door that I understand was purchased to replace the door that comes in at the kitchen. Well, it's a wooden door, and I don't think we need to replace that door with a wooden door. We've got metal doors on that building, I think the rest of them need to be.
That door's not.
It's not a
wood.
wooden door. It's a steel door.
That door's steel? Sure didn't sound steel when I knocked on it yesterday.
It is.
Okay, well, it's also got glass in it. I think if the door needs to be replaced, I think we don't need glass in the door.
So I think it's for that. Okay.
And I don't know how much was paid for that ceiling that was put in there, but the tiles are falling out of it. There's some over on the right side next to the Bailey room that are coming out of the ceiling. And if you open the front door of the building and you open the back door of the building that goes down that hallway, those tiles that are in there flop.
That's why they're falling out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're just really light. Yeah, I think that job was not worth whatever it was paid for.
I think it looked real good.
It looks good, yeah, but when the wind blows and when you open the doors, I don't think that's good.
I mean, are they falling on the ground? On the floor?
There's one that's about ready to do that right now. It's got a gap from the frame about like that, and it's kind of tilted.
Other many times, as long as it looks good and it's not falling apart, I think it's
It's one of those-
worth it.
It's a
Because that, it
suspended,
looked horrible.
it's a suspended
Oh,
ceiling
it
like
looked
this.
Yeah, it's a suspended
I've
seal.
seen
It's a drop
people,
zone.
all that stuff is real lightweight, though, I mean, I don't.
Not the old stuff. The old stuff was pretty heavier than
I don't
this.
think they make the old stuff anymore.
There's
But I
different,
have seen them take stuff and put on top of them.
there's different thicknesses of those panels.
Yeah,
I have seen people take stuff and put on top of them to keep them from blowing up.
I don't think that ceiling would hold anything up there on top of it. There's also 2 broken windows in that building. One of them is in the American Legion portion, and it's been shot with a BB and it's cracked all the way across the window. There's also one in the Bailey room that's been shot with a BB, and it needs to be replaced.
He's taking notes over here, that's a good time to be doing it. And maybe look into some of that, Jason.
Will do.
I've got one more question. The trash bin that's outside,
Mhm.
the back door, that thing is very hard to get open when we, try to take the trash out from the Bloodmobile.
We priced replacing that one time, didn't we? I'll get on that too.
Okay.
Speaking of trash bins, do we need to keep the trash bin at the post office since the new property owner up there has put his own in?
I mean, the one that they put in looks a lot nicer.
It sure does.
So
Why do we have ours up there?
my thing is, and I've seen it, and I know exactly what you're talking about, is I'm afraid that it's a little bit smaller. I don't see that there's a problem having 2 there for overflow trash.
Okay, but ours looks kind of pitiful
Well,
compared to theirs.
They slid it over. I mean, we could buy new ones for the town if you want us to. I mean, we can price them. If you want me to get a price on that, I can.
I think we should make ours look at least as good as theirs.
Okay? All right. Any other unfinished business? That takes us to new business. Everybody for new business.
That was on there.
Okay, under committee reports, finance and appropriation, do you have anything to report on?
I can just report that we sent out delinquent tax notices, this week, and that we, sent business license renewals, went out as well. The collection agency that we're using to, collect our personal property and real estate taxes, the report that we export and send to them had some things missing on it that FMS or Southern Software, had put in there for us. And we've gotten that taken care of, and I've sent them, a couple of files, sample files, and they're working on those. So it won't be long until they'll start making their phone calls for the collections on the taxes. We're very close. That's all.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
They're pretty diligent. I got a bill here. I owe 65 cents.
You do,
And 3 cents of that's penalty.
because it was late. It was due February 28th, yeah. If you don't pay that by the 1st of April, you're gonna have more interest.
65 cents.
That's your furniture and fixtures.
I know.
You don't have a lot of furniture and fixtures, apparently.
He does, but have you looked at it?
I don't know that he wants us to talk about this in open session, so. But yeah, we did give him a bill for 65 cents. Brenda's apologized for missing that the other day.
Okay. On the personnel ordinances and legal matters, do we have anything?
I'll
to
talk
report
about
on?
that in my report.
Okay. Oh, she lined you right out.
Yeah, she set me straight.
So that takes us to the town manager report.
Okay, the first thing is downtown revitalization. Virginia Fence is in town this week to install the perimeter fence on the downtown lot. They have erected the fence on the Main Street portion of the property. They're currently waiting for, to get approval through Norfolk and Southern. They want to make sure that they're far enough away before they proceed with that section. Me and Mike went down and met with them, and we planned it out. It's going to be straight all the way down that lane. I personally think it looks good, looks nice. I think the access area is going to be sufficient. And once we get, I talked to Mike, once we get that other section done, then we can start to grade work, to grade up to the fence and grade out for the parking lot for the farmer's market. I might get Mike to kind of talk about some of this, but he met with the Wythe County Building Inspector regarding the bathrooms at the vacant building on the downtown lot. He was told that with the capacity of the building, there's an issue with how many stalls would be required in the bathroom. The town is getting a cost estimate on the proper number of stalls required. For some reason, if I understood it right, Mike, he was saying that you needed more in the women's bathroom?
Correct.
Is it because men can use a urinal and women can't? I'm assuming.
He didn't elaborate on it, he just said we needed 2 women's restrooms, 1 men's restroom.
You mean 2 stalls in the restroom?
Well, it's gonna have 2 stalls in the restroom, he said 3. But if you're adding the outside to that and the inside one, if you do that, you've got it. You can use the outside one and the inside. For the entrances, you could open a doorway and you'd have 2 women's restrooms. He done it for occupancy, and I think it was, for the size of the building, he told us 230 people occupancy. So you had to have more women's restrooms than you did men.
That occupancy is way high, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
You put 230 people in that room?
Elbow to elbow.
But what you were talking about, if y'all don't care if I chime in, you were talking about having separate bathrooms for the outside people and having inside bathrooms for your event center. That would solve that problem.
Right.
Then you'd have these 2 bathrooms accessible from the inside. They wouldn't have to use those out, but they could use those to make the building inspector happy.
So was he talking about having a door from the outside one to the inside one?
A door coming out into the room that you could, just like we had it,
Yeah,
except there'll be 2 bathrooms.
back to back.
I even asked if, you could put a limit on occupancy for the size of the building. He said, no, you had to go with the size of the building. You could.
And he did that per square feet, which I'm not sure. Maybe one of you two could tell me, and I should already ask y'all this question. With that occupancy, is that by the building inspector or is that by the fire chief? Who decides that? Does one trump the other?
He didn't tell me that, he just said that he'd figured it out, so it had to be through the building inspector. Took him 2 days to get back to me on it, but he finally did.
I mean,
if you're plumbing or if you're doing it, it'd be a small addition, wouldn't cost that much.
We're waiting on
But
the
if you think about it, with the occupancy, the way we've talked about doing it, even if we do the bathrooms the way we want it to, is we would just have to have because we were kind of worried about having a public restroom open all the time. We would really only need to have that outside door open when we have an event in there.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time that it would require, you'd have it in there for the inside, but the outside you'd only have to have open when we have somebody in there having an event, so. And I didn't put this in here, but on top of that, I did meet with, briefly with, the people who are gonna do the beds, and they're doing that, Saturday. So the lumber's gonna be delivered Friday, and they're really, really excited to have that space to do the building for the beds, for the kids that don't have one, can't afford one. Rest in heavenly peace, is that right? Sleep in heavenly peace. But they will be in that building on Saturday.
Are we gonna have a town representative down there?
I mean,
I'm just wondering, just show them.
I've already been in there to show them everything.
Okay.
We've already went through the place. They checked the outlets, everything. I told them respectfully, please park over there on the gravel lot that they have instead of, on the street or in the grass, so they know not to do that, so. I'm hoping that it works out well for them. It's a good cause.
I'm sure.
And they said that they would clean everything up when they're done, and
They've asked for volunteers to come help too. You can sign up to work.
me?
No, anybody.
Okay. I was gonna say, you don't want me building a bed for somebody, they'll fall off
I don't
of
know
it.
if I want to sleep in it.
That's all I have for downtown revitalization. Upgrades to the water plant. The town will meet with Paul, which is the people who build the kind of filtration plant that we're looking for, and the land group on Thursday to go over some cost estimates for Staley Spring Water Plant. I received some of the cost estimates today, and I have some questions about it. But that was for Staley Spring and Philippi Spring together. That was to refurbish and redo both of those. The town will then have an idea of how to move forward with the project. Just an update on the site at Staley. The power's been disconnected at the site, and the town maintenance crew has went down there and they cleaned it up, and it looks pretty good down there. I think we're gonna have enough room for the building that we need. Mike was able to get, I don't know if you know them right off the top of your head, but do you remember what the quotes were for the metal building versus the split face block?
Somewhere like 190 for a steel building and 110, 120 for a block building.
So, feasible. I think it's feasible for today's day and time as to what, can be built for the plant. But the town will have to take down one of the on-site buildings there and the metal holding tank, as well as, if you go there and look at it, there's some suspect trees there that are gonna have to be taken down. Jarvis will have to come in there and do it, because they're gonna have to be topped and brought down. If not, they'll fall on our fence and probably in the Dutch Pantry's parking lot. But that shouldn't be an issue. I've got a real good vibe of what's going on here, as far as getting Staley done for a reasonable cost. But we'll talk about financially how we're gonna take care of that in the future. We're still waiting on 4 valves and actuators from Flow Solutions to keep the system at Philippi, the current water plant, from constantly holding back flow water because of the faulty valves. Back to last meeting, from meeting with Giles, they really gave us a good idea of what we needed to do. We ordered those and set up an account with this company, so I'm expecting them here within the next week. Once we get these valves put in, we'll stop that issue. We can do our CIP cleaning, which is the cleaning that cleans out all the filters. and then we can produce more water. But I don't know how often you guys ride by the orange water tank. It hasn't been below 95 feet for quite some time. We're staying right there where we need to be. And our water, not accountability, but our water production has went down. We were 340, 350, and now we're around 290 to 300 a day. So we've dropped 40, 50,000 gallons. So that's good news. Bad news is the water accountability that you guys saw at the last meeting. But Mike has found 2 leaks this week that we know about. One of them is up on Elm Avenue. Where did you say that was, Mike? Across from Miss Martin's place?
Yeah, diagonal across from her house, right in the curb.
So it's a 6-inch water main that's leaking there, so we have found that one. And I think he's planning on fixing that probably early next week. Anybody have any questions about the water plant? Okay. Upgrades to the wastewater plant. Donald Vaught, I went down and talked to Low Gear, is supposed to be in town in the next couple of weeks to make the needed modifications to the clarifier at the plant. It's been going on for a while, but the groundwater is probably as good now as it's going to get unless we get a real dry spurt during the summertime. But it's overdue, it needs to be done, and if it doesn't get done in the next couple of weeks, or next week, I'll be reaching out to Mr. Vaught myself.
What exactly is the problem in layman's terms?
It's replacing, what is it, the overflow in the clarifier?
Yes.
The overflow pipe in the clarifier needs to be replaced before we can put it back into, basically it's a pipe that keeps it from overflowing when it gets high. We can't go from one clarifier to the other until that pipe has been replaced. He's went in and put in the new valve and everything. All the hard work's done. He just needs to come back and do that one part. Main Street sidewalk repair, we've already talked about that. They're also doing repairs on North Main Street up near Harpo's and on Buck Avenue with the apartment complex. I don't know if you've been down Buck Avenue, but they're gonna pour that hopefully tomorrow. Actually got a text from him just now. He wanted me to call him about tomorrow. So I'm pleased with Mr. Miles and the work that he's done. I couldn't say anything else. Derelict properties, I've had an initial conversation with Mr. Sobey about how to proceed. I also through Monica, was able to get the owner's information for the house at the corner of Buck Avenue and Main Street. After talking with Mr. Sobey, I'll see how to go forward with that. I don't know what we can do. I don't know how he wants to proceed with that process. But there's several of those around town that if we're gonna do one, we're gonna have to do them all. So, I mean, it's one of those things. Something else that's not on here, the letter of concern about the ordinance was delivered to the owners of the property on Westfield Avenue. So they have been, a copy of the ordinance was also hand delivered by Chief Breedlove. So they are aware of the issue. They have a certain amount of time to resolve the issue. If they don't, based on the past VML recommendations, I will write them another letter. And then at that point, Mr. Breedlove can do what we did on Elm Avenue and write a civil citation. So on personnel, ordinances and legal matters, Monica Logier and myself did another round of interviews for the water wastewater position. Went well. Hopefully the town will extend an offer very soon for a new operator. You didn't announce that we're having a budget committee on Thursday, did you?
The committee knows.
Okay.
And it's
Just so everybody,
there's a notice.
just so everybody knows, we have advertised, there will be a finance meeting on Thursday to go over some of the stuff that I'm talking about in my report. One of the things is the interview for the water wastewater operator. to see where the town wants to go with that, and then they'll make a recommendation from there as what they want to do toward hiring this individual. And then lighting on Richfield Street, the order for the lighting and the poles has been sent to AEP and is on their schedule. I spoke to the individual that's over the scheduling today. He used to be in the New River Valley. They've since moved him to Bluefield, West Virginia. So he's doing 2 jobs at one time, but he has sent it out for their people to come out and map out where the poles are to go. From going and looking, I don't think one pole's gonna do it. I don't think one pole's gonna get from where their above ground power ends. There'll probably have to be 2 poles put in, but that was a matter of $7 a month for the town versus $12 a month for the town. So, I'm expecting 2 poles, but we'll see what they have to say.
Which side of the street is it going on?
Her side. I mean, there's no reason to put it on the other side, isn't it? I also did look into the detention pond. Richfield, Sherwood, back in that area that drains down into toward Fry Avenue. As far as I can tell, that property, there's a conflict between the subdivision that was built by the Musters and an HOA that was supposed to have been adopted but never was adopted, but the property has since been bought by individuals. Looking at the GISs and the deeds, I don't see anything other than the property owners owning that detention pond. It's kind of hard to explain.
That pond was put there in the 70s,
Well, there,
to my understanding, that retaining pond.
I don't know.
I think that was only put there when they started the subdivision up there. What year was that on?
Because Helen, my sister.
99.
She lives on Westfield, and they've always had a problem.
Well, I think they had a water problem before the pond.
I think the pond's been there longer, though.
I don't think so.
No, I think it was put in
It
with
was,
the subdivision.
it was
put in.
definitely put in with the subdivision, because it's in that,
It's probably in the
Deed
erosion and
stuff.
settlement control in the, I can go back and look. But anyway, it's a weird situation, and I might have to get Sobe to advise me on that. I
So
might,
who owns, so that would be the person that owns the property now, to
in my opinion, yes.
fix that?
In my opinion, yes. But also, when that subdivision was built, and you can
it was in
speak up at any
19,
time.
it was in 1999.
Mickey Musser wrote up in the deeds that if anything ever happened to that detention pond, that it would be the homeowners association of Sherwood Avenue that would be responsible for that detention pond. That HOA was never set up. There was never officers, nothing was ever set up. So like I said, I'm probably do need to talk to Sobe about it, but from what I'm seeing right now, from what I have based on the plats and everything, it's owned by an individual that bought the lots from Mr. Musser. And this is within the past year. But it is getting worse, because I've noticed it myself. It's where it's filled up with sediment and stuff, and I'll go back and get Mr. Sobe to look at it with me, because there might be something I'm missing, but we'll see. I also talked to Brad Stallard about the J.G. Corum that you'd asked about the topsoil litigation down here to downtown. He sent me over his complaint to look over, make sure everything was fine, and then he's gonna send that in to their attorney to see what they wanna do. And then the town office, Mike did get a quote for resealing, doing all the windows and the doors in the town hall. And it wasn't very expensive. I'm not gonna say what the quote was in open session, so somebody could come in and give me a lower quote and try to get the job, so. But it was not it was not terribly expensive, and that was the door and the windows and sealing everything and getting everything redone, so, I would like to thank Mike for all the work he's done on all the stuff we've talked about, so. If there's any questions, please.
How about the caboose, anything being done?
I'm gonna call the guy, I haven't done it yet. He recommended a certain, what do you call it, stripping material
Yeah.
to use. And then I'm gonna ask him also who he would recommend to paint it. Because when you get into painting chains and things like that, it's probably gonna have to be contracted out to do. But I'd like to have it done before the farmer's market starts, so I'll be getting on that quickly.
Need to talk about replacing the screens too on those windows there.
We can get that, that's no issue.
Now, we have executed an agreement between us and the depot, correct?
Correct.
Technically, I'm not saying I want that, but technically, they should be, they are responsible, but we're not gonna give them anything that's not nice.
Right.
I just wanna make sure I understand.
And I probably need to revisit that with Mr.
Right, I mean,
Akers.
I'm just saying, as far as maintenance goes, we do need to at least touch base with the depot, because we're expecting them to maintain it after we gift them all this nice paint job and everything, and I fully support that. I think that's the right thing to do. But we, technically, those guys are over the maintenance, we need to kind of loop them in a little bit and let them know what's going on.
Okay. I haven't seen Mr. Akers around,
Me neither.
so
I don't think he's here.
Yeah.
At the parts store is closed.
correct.
Has he been made aware of the sign regulations?
I haven't told him that. His sign has to be taken down.
Within 90 days. All signage is to be removed from a closed business. Section 4420-10 of the zoning ordinance.
Hard to argue that.
I actually argued that for years against for the business and drug. Back with council and back with Congress and like, action and teeth, I do believe.
While
We got it.
on the subject, you need to talk to Yehill about the building over there too. Those have never been taken down.
If you go tell him one thing, you just left to tell him two.
I was going to kill two birds with one stone. We're basically talking about the same people anyway.
Yeah, that's right. That's it.
I don't have anything else in the notebook.
Quick, finish your meeting so we can go home. That, I thought there were more things on the,
Treasurer's report.
you reported on everything, I guess, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the town manager?
When are the railings supposed to go up for the sidewalk?
Me and Mike have talked about that. And maybe you can talk about, we were going to put them in the concrete, but Mr. Miles didn't recommend that for some reason. I'm not sure why. So we're looking, and Monica and I talked about it, and me and Mike talked about it, about how we want to do that. I really couldn't pre-order the railing because I didn't know exactly what the rise and run of those steps were going to be. It has to be a certain, I couldn't order it and then when it gets here, it wouldn't fit. So we'll measure that out. We'll either go through, what's it, that place called that you order rails from? Fortress. Or I can also get a cost estimate for the same railing that's on the detention pond down here. But I will tell you, it's probably going to be expensive if we do that, if we go that route, just because it's prefab and it takes them a little while. But it's nice stuff and it's high quality. But I'll need to get some prices on that.
Do you have a caution sign or anything in case somebody was walking down there and they would fall? Just to,
We'll figure something out. Because it was raised some. It's taller than it used to be.
It's a lot better though. It's not even, that thing was on a slight incline and people would stumble because of the incline. It's level now. It's a whole lot better.
It'd be nice if it blended in with the fence that's going up down there. If it was of the same similar type material.
We can do that. The only thing I would recommend if we do that is we did aluminum down here. I would recommend doing steel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we could I could get a quote from them to do the steel up there. Same kind of.
I think it would look very nice if it did blend in with the fencing.
Sound all good?
Okay, anybody have any other questions? I guess it goes to Monica then.
Okay. We wrote these checks today. Appalachian Power, $7.57. ARC 3 Gases, $713.92. Atmos Energy, $1,274.39. BMS Direct, $669.66. BMS Direct again for $500. Electronic Systems, $34.69. Flock Safety, $7,241.78. Aaron Michael Hall, $70.53. Hurt and Profit, $6,885. Jason Jones, $38.08. Joint Industrial Development Authority, $5,455.75. KC Automotive, $20. Lincoln Financial Group, $151.93. Little B Enterprises, $11,750.88. Miles Concrete, $10,000. Maury Joyner, MD, $50. Parkway Gas, $1,945.40. Principal Financial Group, $164.52. R&R Enterprises, $198.50. And that's a total of $47,172.60. Any questions?
Not separated. Put one of them in front of the teacher's desk.
It'll work.
Me neither.
That's when I was going home every evening to see Ruby, and it still didn't work.
Well, imagine if you said you goes to her with that cane, you could go like that,
You still have to keep that.
Right.
rack and aid.
I think legally you have to do that.
Okay,
Understand.
we've got one more, thing we have to do. Jim's finished with it. Just prior to adjournment, I'd like to ask for a motion to second to convene in a closed session. And
Second.
Who made the motion? Okay.
all those in favor, please signify by stating aye. Aye. Oh, same sign? Okay, this is a discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose or of the disposition of publicly held real property. Where, is this the right one? Okay. Where discussion in an open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiating strategy of the public body. That's it. After. Invite everybody to have a great evening. You go home now and not worry about the night.
Thank you.
Derek, you be sure and tell